evening, dear students. How are you? Welcome to this another session from SuperGrads by top rankers. So once again, we are here with a topic in grammar in which we find that there are many students who falter. So what is the reason behind that? Let's delve deeper into this topic, which is related to tenses. If, dear students, grammar is the base of language, then I should say tenses or tense is the base of grammar. Okay. So, what is tense? Tense is nothing but time. Okay. So, you can correlate in this manner. Don't get tense because of the tense. Today, I'll be teaching you in simple terms what are tenses. We'll have a quick run through and then we'll delve deeper into some of the problematic situations or the conditions which are faced by the student community. So, my name is Rita Gurbani. I am your VARC expert. So, now, as I was telling you, what is a tense? A tense is nothing but an indication of time. When you say anything, you want to say something, okay, you want to express your ideas, your views. So, time plays an important role there. For example, if I say, I write this letter to show you, I write this letter, look at the verb, write, okay. If suppose I say, I wrote the letter in the office, so again, wrote is the verb. Now I again change it and I say, I will write another letter tomorrow. What we are trying to say? We are trying to tell us about an action which is showing different time slots. For example, write shows present tense, wrote shows past tense, and will write is indicative of the future tense. That means the verb which is in the present tense is telling us about the present time. The verb which is in the past tense is telling us about the past time, and the verb which is in the future tense is telling us about an action in the future time. As we had already established in the previous sessions, that the verb indicates the action or the state of being. The verb indicates action or the state of being. This verb is connected with the tense. If we have to study tense, then we have to pay utmost attention to the verb. Now let us see how the different tenses are organized. Suppose the first is present simple present. Take for example, I write. Okay, it can be I write a letter, I write a poem, I write a book. This is simple present tense. Now, what about simple past tense? This will be changed to wrote. I wrote a letter, I wrote a poem, I wrote a book. Now, future. I will write, I will write a letter, I will write a poem, I will write a book. The second, present continuous, which shows the time at which the action is in progress. I am writing a letter, I am writing a poem, or whatever the object may be. Similarly, past continuous, I was writing a letter. Okay, it is telling us about an action in the continuous state in the past time. Then coming to future continuous, I will be writing. I will be writing a letter or whatever the object of the sentence is. Coming to this one, perfect, present perfect, I have written. Coming to past perfect, I had written. Coming to future perfect, I will have written. Okay. Now the last form, simple. We have done simple, we have done continuous, we have done perfect. Now present, perfect, continuous. I have been writing. Okay. Then past continuous, I had been writing. And then future continuous, I will have been writing. So if I say I write or I speak, I go, I eat, I drink, okay, this is the simple present tense. If I say I wrote or I went or I ate or I drank, this is the simple past tense. If I say I will write, I will go, I will speak, I will drink, I will eat, this is the simple future tense. We are familiar with all the tenses. There are 12 total forms of the tenses. We are only talking about the active voice in this session. We're not talking about the passive voice. So there are total 12 forms. Three tenses and further divided into four forms, which gives us total 12 forms of the tenses. We are talking about active voice, where the doer of the action is important. The doer of the action. In Hindi, it is called karta. That is important. Now let us take some examples of all the various tense forms in details. As just now we have established that if we talk about action, simple action in present tense, we call it simple present tense. For example, see, she drinks coffee every evening. What does it tell us? That this is a habitual action which is being done by her every day, every evening. This is a habitual action, which is repeated, which is done repeatedly every evening. The sun rises in the east. Now, this is general truth. This is general truth. It is also called universal truth. Now, next, we leave for Chennai tomorrow. This is also simple present tense, though the adverb tomorrow has been written, but it is a part of the plan which has already been arranged. It is a part of the plan. And this plan has already been finalized. So we can easily use simple present tense here. So leave, rises, and drinks. Pay attention to the verb forms. Coming to present continuous tense. As the name itself suggests, it is talking about a time when the action is in progress. It is also called progressive. Owing to the meaning it conveys, it is also called progressive. For example, he is reading. When I look at him and I say, what is he doing? He is reading. Okay. Look at the continuous tense. How is it denoted? With the auxiliary verb is and ing added to the verb. Now look at the second sentence. I am reading Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights is the name of a famous novel. What does it mean? It will not necessarily mean that I am reading it at present. It's not necessary. The meaning conveyed is these days I am reading this particular novel. Okay. We are going to the restaurant tonight. Just as you find this, it's a part of the plan which has already been arranged. Similarly, this also tonight, today itself. So we are going means it is fixed. It is decided that we are going for a get together or a dinner or a party, whatever it is. We are going to the restaurant tonight. These children are always crying. This tells us about a habitual action which is taking place in progression. It is always happening. Okay, so we have this present continuous tense. Pay attention to the auxiliary verb is, am, are. Okay, and look at the meaning which is being given. Now here is something to be noted. Something which is to be noted is that all the verb forms are not used in continuous tense. Yes, very important to be noted. If you want to have a good understanding, if you want to have a grip on the tenses, you have to note that there are a few verbs where we do not use the continuous tense. For example, the verbs of perception, see, hear, smell, notice, recognize, then verbs of appearing, appear, look, seem. We do not use present continuous. Then verbs of emotion, want, wish, feel, love, desire, dream, hate, refuse, hope. We do not use in form of the verb. Then verbs of thinking, think, suppose, believe, agree, consider, trust, remember, know, forget, understand. We do not use the continuous form of the verb. Then have. It also means to own something or to possess something or belong to. We do not use the continuous form of the verb. For example, we do not say, I am wishing to meet him. This is wrong. We have to say, I wish to meet him. We do not say, I am hating her. No, I hate her. Okay. We never say this, you are looking beautiful or you are looking healthy. We have to say, you look healthy or you look beautiful. Okay. We never say, I am smelling something. No, we have to say, I smell something. I smell something. Maybe it is a good smell or a bad one. Okay. Similarly, verbs of thinking. We never say, I am trusting you. No, we say, I trust you. We never say, I'm believing in his words. We have to say, I believe in his words. I am remembering. No, wrong. We have to say, I remember. I remember the good old days. In this way, we have to, you know, present our thoughts in such a way that we it may sound that we are thinking or we are talking in the continuous form. We are trying to express ourselves in the continuous form of the verb, but we are not using ing in front of it. I am recognizing you. No, I recognize you. I am refusing to eat dinner. Refusing. No, I refuse to eat dinner. I am preferring tea to coffee. I am preferring tea to coffee. No, I prefer tea to coffee. Preferring. This is no word. This is not to be used. Okay? Then I am agreeing to your point or I am agreeing to your view. No, you simply say, I agree with you. I agree with your thoughts. Okay. So these are the verbs very importantly to be noted. Please make a note of all these verbs. Generally, we do not take the ing form along with these. Okay. Now, there can be a different kind of a meaning here. If you want to go deeper, I would like to tell you, take for example, the verb of thinking. If suppose I write, pay attention to this. If I say I am thinking of buying a bungalow, that means I am considering it. I consider buying a bungalow. It does not mean that my thought process is on just now. It means it has a different meaning. I am thinking of buying a bungalow means I am considering. See, it is a varied, meaning. The connotation is totally different. Okay. So these are the verbs which are not to be used in the continuous form. Now coming to the past perfect. Past perfect. Perfect. What does it show? That the action has been completed. For example, he has just entered the house. The action of entering has just now been completed. My niece has been to England. I have finished my homework. We have lived here for 6 years. Have lived, have finished, has been. What does it show? It shows that the action has been completed just now. Okay, so which are the words, which are the adverbs which you generally find used to express this tense? Already, just, always, then, never, yet, so far. Okay, these are the words we use when we have to present our thoughts in the present perfect tense. Perfect. Please look at this. From here, you'll understand perfect means it is completed, done. Okay. Now, the next, here a very important observation has to be made. Generally, we have found people making a mistake. If we have to denote an action of the past tense, then we should not use has or have. So, if I say he has gone to Delhi, This is okay. Oh, so far so good. But if I say he has gone to Delhi yesterday, it is wrong because yesterday is an indication. It is indicative of the past tense, and here what we are showing present perfect. So this is wrong. Correct sentence would be he went to Delhi yesterday. So these two should get in sync with each other. Yesterday and went to. They should get in sync with each other. Right? Pay attention to this because I have found many students make this mistake. Now, present perfect continuous tense. What does it mean? An action which starts, gets over, and after a period of time repeats itself, right? An action starts, completes, and then repeats. So this is called present perfect continuous. It is a combination of perfect and continuous. The name itself suggests it has double meanings. Two meanings it has. The action is already completed, perfect, but it is repeating also. So, for example, they have been building the bridge for several months. Means the construction is still on. They are still building. It has not yet been completed. Okay, it is still going on. My clothes are wet. I have been watering the garden. What is the reason that my clothes are wet? Because I have been watering the garden. Okay. So in this way, you find the various forms of the tense actually give a proper understanding, actually give a proper polish to our views, what we want to say. Coming to the past tense, simple past tense, an action which is already over in the past time. पहले वो action हो चुकी है. So simple past tense. She left the institute last year. She always carried cookies in her bag. She always carried cookies. Again, this is a habit. It is a continued habit of that person. And this action is already over. She left the institute last year. She went home yesterday. Okay. Past continuous. The action is being indicated of the past tense, but at that time it was in continuation. For example, when I saw him, he was playing carom. When I met him, he was playing cards. When I went to his house, he was having his dinner. Next, he was always getting late for the school. Again, this is a habitual action which was happening in the past time. Past perfect. Just as you have present perfect, you also have past perfect. His daughter had been unwell since Sunday. Since, now the word which we have to pay attention is indication of the time when it started. Okay, the daughter had been unwell since Sunday. When I reached the station, the train had left the platform. Very important. We'll come to it later on also. Please stay tuned. This is a very important rule which I'll be taking in detail in the coming minutes. Next, past perfect continuous tense. He went to the doctor because he had been vomiting. He had been vomiting on and on. He vomited, then he stayed at rest, and again he vomited. So this had been happening in the past tense. Okay, so he went to the doctor. She had been watching horror movies all through the afternoon or all through the night, had been watching one after the other. So the four forms of the past tense you have seen. Now coming to the next, future tense, simple future tense. We shall meet them tomorrow. Any action which is going to happen in the future tense, in the future time, okay, to be precise. Future continuous tense. Shaurya will be performing on the stage next month. This is a part of the plan. This is very, you can say it is very sure that this particular action is going to happen. So Shaurya will be performing. See, continuous tense. Future perfect tense. You will have, excuse me, have earned a lot of money by the end of this year. So it is expected that by the end of this year, this person will have earned a lot of money. Future perfect continuous tense. By next June, please excuse me. By next June, we shall have been living here for 5 years. Let us take some exercises to test our learning, whatever we have understood so far. Meena black nutritious food since morning. Since morning, have not eaten, will not eat, has not eaten. Now, since this is a singular subject, Meena, so which will be the option? Has not eaten nutritious food since morning. She dash me since 2015. Knew, has known, will know. Since. So, has known will be the correct option. She has known me since 2015. I dash a strange noise. I hear, remember verbs of perception? I hear a strange noise, not I am hearing. Okay. It dash since early morning. It has been raining. It has been raining since early morning. Can I have a cup of coffee before I am going, go, shall go. Can I have a cup of coffee before I go to bed? The earth move round the sun, moves round the sun, move round the sun. Now this is singular subject, so it will take the verb with s or es. The earth moves around the sun. So in this way, we find that some of the verb forms we are able to understand. Now, let us get into the details of these. There are certain rules which govern the usage of all the tenses. Now, what are those rules? Let us go one by one. This is called actually sequence of tenses. In which sequence will the tense come? It is defined by this rule. Okay. A past tense in the principal clause must be followed by a past tense in the subordinate clause. Now, what is this principal clause? What is this subordinate clause? You might be wondering. Nothing to worry, dear students. Look at this. I told him that I was going to office. Can this part stand on its own? No. So this is the subordinate clause. Subordinate means niche, है ना? And what is this? I told him. This part of the sentence can stand on its own because it has a subject, it has a verb, it has an object. This is called the principal clause or the main clause. This is the principal clause. You can also call it the main clause. So, what is the rule? That if this is the main clause, it is in the past tense. So the verb in the subordinate clause will also be in the past tense, right? Coming to the exception of this rule. What is the exception, dear students? In English grammar, more than the rules, we have the exceptions. What is the exception? If suppose the subordinate clause is telling us some universal truth, or habitual truth or a quotation or a scientific law, then it will be in the present tense because it is always true. Even if the tense used in the principal clause is past. For example, look at this. The teacher said that the earth moves around the sun. Now, this is something which is universal truth, which can never be changed. Okay. So, you have seen this said is in the past tense, but this move is in the present tense, which is perfectly fine because this is an exception to the rule. Next, he said that he is an early riser. Now, this tells us about the habit which is persistent. है ना? So, here also is perfectly fine, even if the principal clause has the tense in the past tense. Newton said that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Newton is the name of a famous scientist, and this is a very famous scientific law that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Now, what I mean to say is all these sentences or views are correct no matter what the time. So, this rule of the same tense is not applicable for these facts. Okay. Now, if the subordinate clause is introduced by as if, now I'll not go to the rule, I'll simply take you through the example. It is more important for all of us to understand the correct usage rather than going into the rules. Okay. Now, look at this sentence. He talks as if. We are talking about as if. He talks as if he were mad. So what have we done? As if, as though. He loved me as though I had been his son. Okay. So what is happening? The past tense is used for the present time and the past perfect tense is used for the past time. See, I had been his son. He loved me. He loved me as though I had been his son. This is past tense. So here it will be past perfect, right? Here this is present tense. So here it will be past tense. Okay. So this is the rule that we have to understand. Now the other rule is also very important. Now, if there is an idea of two actions, if you want to talk about two actions which are taking place in the future only, then how this rule will work? Take for example, look at this. If it rains, look at this. This is called condition. Condition, है ना? If it rains. Look at this. This is the present tense. Present. I shall not go to the market. If it rains, I shall not go to the market. Not if it rains, not like this, if it will rain, not like this. I shall not go to the market. No, this is wrong. If it rains, I shall not go to the market. Now, another, if two actions are shown to be happening in the past tense only, there are two actions, they both are taking in the past tense only. So, the principal clause is written in the past perfect and the subordinate clause is written in the past indefinite. Indefinite is nothing but simple. We are just now done simple past tense. Okay. So if there are two actions, imagine you went to a party last night, okay, and there you had dinner. Very common, okay. So these two actions, suppose you say that you went to the party last week, okay, past tense, and there you had something to eat which you really remember, which you really cherish because you were delighted at tasting it, right? So which action took place earlier? Whether you went there, that was earlier of the two, or whether you ate there something. Obviously, the first action, right? So let's come to the rule again. If two actions are shown happening in the past, the principal clause is written in the past perfect. See, the patient had died before the doctor arrived. This is the main clause, the principal clause, and this is the subordinate clause. Okay, so here we use the past perfect tense. जो एक्शन हम दो एक्शंस की बात कर रहे हैं पास्ट टेंस में, उनमें से जो पहले हुआ था उसके साथ हम हमेशा पास्ट परफेक्ट लगाएंगे और जो बाद में हुआ था उसके साथ हम सिंपल पास्ट लगाएंगे. दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रूल. डियर स्टूडेंट्स, प्लीज टेक केयर ऑफ दिस, प्लीज बी अटेंटिव. So I have told you basically the rules. I have taken you through the tense forms, the different forms of the tenses. Now I would like you to pay attention to a few more facets, few more observations, which are also very, very important. For example, take the verb lie. Lie. इसके दो मीनिंग होते हैं. One is to speak which is something false, है ना, something which is not true, झूठ बोलना. Lie is something which is not true. And the other one, lie मतलब वहां रखना, है ना, to keep at rest. Lie, to keep or to be at rest. To be at rest, जैसे हम कहते हैं ना, the box is lying in the other room. Okay. और ये lie मतलब क्या है? Not to speak true, truth. ये है falsehood. It is denoted by false something. So I lie. Lie मतलब, for example, हम कहते हैं she speaks lies. She is always lying. ठीक है. Here, समथिंग अगर पड़ा हुआ है तो भी लाइंग बोलेंगे, कोई झूठ बोल रहा है तो भी लाइंग बोलेंगे. ठीक है. तो ये लाए, इसका जो V2 है वो होता है लाइड और V3 भी होता है लाइड. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, टेक द एग्जाम्पल, आई लाइड टू माई फादर एवरी डे, है ना, पास्ट टेंस में अगर हम बताएं. और इसी को सिंपल प्रेजेंट में बताएं, आई लाई टू माई फादर every day. मतलब हर रोज मैं अपने पिताजी से झूठ बोलता हूँ या झूठ बोलती हूँ। ठीक है। और अगर मैं ये कहूँ, आई lie to my father when I was young, मतलब जब मैं छोटा था तब मैं अपने पिताजी से झूठ बोलता था। थर्ड फॉर्म कैसे होगा? आई हैड लाइड, मैंने झूठ बोला था, आई हैड लाइड टू माई फादर लास्ट वीक, पिछले हफ्ते मैंने अपने फादर से झूठ बोला था। ओके। और ये जो लाई है, ये वाला, जिसमें आप बात करते हैं समथिंग इज एट रेस्ट, समथिंग इज हैज बीन केप्ट देयर, सो इसको देखो, लाई, और V2 होगा इसका ले, और V3 होगा इसका लेन, है ना। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, शी वॉज lying on the sofa, मतलब वो सोफा पे लेटी हुई थी। शी वॉज लाइंग ऑन द सोफा, मतलब वो सोफा पर लेटी हुई थी। दिस इज योर पास्ट कंटिन्यूअस एंड दिस इज योर पास्ट सिंपल पास्ट। शी ले ऑन द सोफा लास्ट नाइट, सिंपल पास्ट। पास्ट परफेक्ट अगर हो तो क्या यूज करेंगे? शी हैड लेन ऑन द सोफा लास्ट मंथ। We are referring to any incident in the past tense. ओके। सो इस तरीके से जब हम lie की बात करते हैं, कुछ कहना, झूठ बोलना, और जब बात करते हैं lie की, समथिंग इज lying there. ओके। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, शी हैज लेड नैपकिन्स ऑन द टेबल, यानी उसने नैपकिन्स टेबल पर रख दिए। शी हैज लेन द नैपकिन्स ऑन द टेबल। नेक्स्ट कम्स some more examples I would like to discuss with you here, which are related to the verb forms. Okay. For example, come. Come. C-O-M-E, come. What is the second form of come? Came. Come is V1, V2 is came, and V3 is again come. I have generally seen the students say like this: the teacher has came. The teacher has came, which is wrong. ये होना चाहिए the teacher has come. The teacher has come. Okay. Similarly, the verb like put, इसका V1 भी put होगा, V2 भी put होगा, और V3 भी put ही होगा. You cannot say putted. She has putted her handkerchief inside the bag. ऐसा नहीं बोलना. She has put her handkerchief inside the bag. So इस टाइप के verbs हैं. इसमें और भी verbs आते हैं. For example, spread. Spread, spread, spread. A fragrance was spread in the room. Spread ही रहेगा तीनों forms में. Another of this type is burst. Burst. The balloon burst in the hands of the child. Okay. Similarly, we have the verb. have. Okay, now how is this verb have or has used? She has a headache. She has a headache. Okay. Iska, how do you, you cannot say that she is having a headache. I have seen students say this, he is having a headache, she is having a stomach ache. No, this has to be used like this. She has a headache. Okay. This is talking about some illness or ailment. Look at this example. You have an elder brother. This is showing possession or you can say relationship. You have an elder brother. आपका एक बड़ा भाई है. This shows possession. You have a bungalow in Delhi. You have a bungalow in Delhi. Possession. ये possession है. If suppose I say you have a sweet voice, I'm talking about the characteristic of that person. आपके पास एक अच्छी या आपकी आवाज बड़ी मीठी है. Take for example another sentence. The leader had a charming personality. The leader had a charming personality. This is also we are talking about the trait or the characteristic of that particular person. Okay. Now, one more example I would like to take where the mistake is committed often. You might have heard of the verb hang. So, what are its three forms? Hang, H-A-N-G, hang. Hang. V1. V2 will be hung. When do we say? When we are talking about a thing. Okay. Example, hang your shirt. What does it mean? अपनी शर्ट को लटका दो ताकि वो सूख जाए या उसका पसीना जो है वो सूख जाए. सो व्हाट यू से हैंग योर शर्ट. अपनी शर्ट को हैंग कर लो, है ना. कहाँ पे हैंग कर लो? ऑन द हुक. और हैंग योर कोट ऑन द हुक. ये हमने ऑब्जेक्ट की बात की. ये एक थिंग है, ये एक चीज है. ठीक है, तो हमने क्या कहा? हैंग. है ना. अगर हम इसको ये कहना चाहें इट इज रिलेटेड टू सम पर्सन, तो इसका क्या हो जाएगा? व्हाट विल बी द फॉर्म? He was hanged till death. He was hanged till death. We are talking about a person. We are talking about a human being. तो उसके साथ हम क्या यूज करेंगे? Hanged. We will not say hung. Okay. So when we have to talk about a thing, we use hung. But when we have to talk about a person, we have to say hanged. Okay. So this is very important. We say hang for a person. So this is to be kept in mind. These are some simple verbs generally where I find that the students commit mistakes. So now coming to the other part, which is the last part, which is very important, that is related to the exercise. This is a practice time. Very important. Unless we practice, we won't be able to have a grip. Okay, as I already informed you that we should have a good, genuine practice. We should devote some hours every day for the practice of our language, grammar, reading, vocabulary. So I have brought this exercise for you. You quickly write these answers and put in the comment box. I am taking exercise every day. What you have to do is you have to find out the errors in the sentences. There are certain errors on the basis of the tenses which we did just now. You will be able to find some errors in the sentences. First, I am taking exercise. I have read this news yesterday. We shall not go out if it will rain. I am studying in Delhi public school since last year. When I reached home, my father already came. This news was telecasted on Z News. Our teacher taught us that the earth moved round the sun. He laid the book on the table. The birds flown away when the ground was froze. She plays table tennis since morning. Now, here, I would like to draw your attention towards this verb flow, flowed, and flowed. This is the verb flow. For example, the river flowed into the ocean. Okay, and the other verb is fly. Fly, flown. The second form will be flew. Fly, flew, flown. Okay, take for example, the birds fly in the sky. This is simple present tense. The birds fly in the sky. But if I have to use past tense, the birds flew in the sky. So these are two different verb forms. Okay. Fly is different and flow is different. So when you will be doing this sentence, you have to pay attention to the verb form. Last, she plays table tennis since morning. So generally you will find that the errors are based on the tenses, right? So my dear students, I want you to take up all these sentences, make your own notes, and prepare yourself for all the upcoming competitive exams. And we at Top Rankers are there to help you. If you want to take up any other subjects, we want us to give you some more examples, take some more discussion, then please feel free to comment, and we'll be happy to come up with those topics because we believe in the support and the mentorship of the student community. We want our students to come up and to achieve their dreams through studying, through their widening of their horizons. Okay, so all the best, keep learning, keep studying. God bless. More power to you.